Hey guys, my name is Wren, and I'm bad at sketchbooks. Kind of. So today what I have for you is a little tour slash revamping, kind of a sketchbook of mine. The only date that I have in the whole sketchbook is 2017, which means, and I'm pretty sure that I did start this when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, into my first year of college. It may have gone a little bit into my second year of college, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was around that time frame, so 2016, 2017-ish. Right now, I am just flipping through it really fast so you can sort of see what's in here. And while I was flipping through this, the things that I was doing was trying to keep an eye out for the pages that I liked, the pages that could use improvement, and the pages that I didn't really care to touch. And most of them ended up being the third option of didn't really care to touch. I had this thing with outlining all of my art in Sharpie for a while, and so some of the pages already had a decent amount of contrast. I also went through this blind contour phase for a while, so there's a lot of that in the sketchbook. And honestly, I love them. I love them so much. I forgot how much I loved doing them, and I love the feeling and mood that they give to the sketchbook, and so I don't touch those at all either. For the most part, I just wanted to go in and add more contrast where I felt like there wasn't enough. So if there were multiple drawings on a page, I wanted to try to bring your focus to one of those more than the other. I left this drawing here completely alone because it is a nose and lips that when you turn it upside down, the nose is a dog saying Bork. That was very important to me at the time of recording, so so that's what I've got. Starting right away, this is and I didn't necessarily do all of these in the order that you're going to see them, but this was actually the first thing that I did. This is a piece that I did, so I must have started this in high school because this was for my AP AP Studio Art. This is for my AP Studio Art class. And I don't actually think it ended up getting into my portfolio, but it was something about like the graphic design aspect, like the elements of art combined with words. Honestly, I hate this page. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like the material that I used, so I had colored pencils for it. I did not think that turned out well at all. I'm still not a huge fan of that, but I wasn't going to get out paint for this because I really was just trying to focus more on small little things, and not liking a medium is not a good enough reason to redo the whole page when you're just doing something like this. So what I did was I went and I respaced all of the words, and I put them into more of a cohesive font. I don't know. I could not tell you who the quote is originally by. The quote is, "Come quickly, I am tasting the stars." It is said by somebody that the person who created champagne, I believe, that was what he said after trying it for the first time and sharing that with his friends and loved ones. Speaking, I'm capable of that. I remember that the first time I heard this quote was probably where a lot of people heard this quote for the first time, which was in The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Overall, I'm much more content with how this page looks now than how it looked before, so that's a bonus. I also did a little bit on this page here. I actually had already outlined the moths in pen, but it just was not quite dark enough. It was competing with the moon, so I decided to outline them in my lovely trusty Sharpie pen that I use for everything, which is not the same as a fine Sharpie, which is what I used back in 2017 in this sketchbook. It is a pen that does not bleed through the paper, and I love it. I use it for everything. Actually everything. In this page here, what I decided to do was take my favorite of all of the drawings on this page, because honestly there was a lot about this page that I liked, and that's why this was one of the ones that I wanted to try to revamp a little bit. To give it a little bit more contrast, I took my trusted Sharpie pen, good old pen. I went through and I outlined it. That's pretty much all that I do, is outline it, but I did give a little bit of a different sort of definition to the nose. I did also, I believe, add a mouth, which there was not originally one. And that is mostly due to my previous self's crippling inability to draw any mouth that I liked ever. I also added ears because there were not ears in the original sketch. There were some things that my ability to draw at 17 was not where it could have been. It was definitely not where my peers was, and that was always really frustrating for me. So I just would omit those things. I wouldn't even try to hide them. Like, it wasn't like, you know, I'll just draw the character with their hands conveniently placed behind their back. No, I just didn't do it. But thankfully, I am at a place where I am much more confident in my ability to draw things. So I didn't pick up a pencil. I just went right in with that same pen. I'm much more familiar with portraits and faces at this point in time. And I fleshed that out a bit. I do think that I saved that until pretty much the very end, though. I added some shading to the left side of the paper behind that ear. And that was the first thing that I sort of went off script with, that and drawing the ears. And I wasn't totally sure if I was comfortable enough, even now, going right in with my pen to add the mouth in and the ears and everything. I was a little bit nervous. But what it really comes down to is I don't use my sketchbooks for finished pieces. I don't use my sketchbooks for really anything. I just use them. And that means I don't have pretty sketchbooks, and that's sort of why I wanted to make this video, to show the types of things you can do to make your sketchbooks more aesthetically pleasing. And I'm pretty happy with what I was able to achieve here. The next thing that I had was this page of mermaids. I hate all of them. But I did pick the one that I think I got the closest to what I was originally attempting to do. And I actually went in and again did this sort of off-script thing. I could see pretty clearly what my intention was, and it was to have that sort of rib cage separated from the hips style of look. I don't know if that's a very great way to describe it. But the body type was definitely like a sort of pear-shaped-ish, which is generally what my drawings end up looking like when I do draw people. And there are several reasons for that. But the proportions were just kind of wrong. And you can see even in the one that I'm not working on, right to the left where my hand is, it looks stretched out in a way that it just feels so wrong. So I decided to use my current skill level to fix that up a little bit. And I know that's not something that's totally applicable if you're trying to do this to your own sketchbook that you just finished working on, because you're probably not like eons better than you are now, or now than you were then. But drawing attention to the one you like by outlining it, and then I threw a color chunk behind it because that's one of my favorite ways to draw attention to things, is with color more than line work. It's a really, really great way to draw your eye to a place. And you can see I use this again on this page. I use that same marker. I have a lot of markers. I just like this one the most, apparently. It's the only marker I use in the whole video. I took the marker, I outlined the one that I liked most, which was important because I already used pen on multiple drawings on this page, so I needed something extra to make it stand out. I then took my Sharpie again, which is, I love that Sharpie pen so much. And I went in, I added some shading, a little bit more definition. Like I said, I currently am much more confident in using pens and drawing faces and stuff. So this is something that I'm doing a lot of now. So it was really nice to have something already laid out to go back and just chunk in some shadows with. And that did a lot. The adding of texture and value separated the drawing there from the rest of the page just so fantastically. Again, here's another one where I already had one that was drawing more attention than the others. It did have more definition to it, a little bit more detailed before I even got to this page, but I wanted to add just a little bit extra to really make it pop. This one was really, really fun to do, actually. Normally, it's differentiating one graphite or pencil sketch from another graphite or pencil sketch, which is fine, and it is easy to use a black for that. But using the black ink on top of a colored pencil, it just adds even more because there's not that monochromatic feel to the page. Adding in another color or another value is something that can give you a lot of contrast in places that you have a hard time being able to get contrast in otherwise, which is super, super valuable when you are trying to draw attention away from things that you didn't like so much and to something that you liked more. It also means that there's less of a reason for you to have to go in and like cover everything with a matte paint or sticky notes, which I think is super valuable to do when you just like cannot stand what you made. But sketchbooks are my place to be messy and do some ugly art, and I'm okay with that. I think it's most valuable that way, and I don't personally feel the need to make everything perfect. And having things that are less good next to things that are better not only makes the good things look better, but it makes there be a very specific focal point to look at and know that that's the one you're supposed to look at, so it's less overwhelming because it's surrounded by things that I don't want you to look at. And that was the only thing I did there, is take out that loose piece of paper. Unnecessary. Don't know why I kept it in. On this page, I have a bunch of drawings of the lead singer of the 1975, which is a band that I currently like, but I was much more into back in the day. So I added in some of that marker to separate the one drawing that I liked most from the other two, which I also like. I just liked the big one most. And then I did go in and I added a little bit more definition to the nose. And that is because I love drawing noses. Fun fact. I love drawing noses so much. And I wasn't actually intending to do anything, which is why I used a pencil and not my pen. I wasn't trying to make it compete. I just really needed to add some value in there. It was for me. I then went to this page here where I used my same marker that I've used in the whole rest of the sketchbook. And I just outlined that flower. Everything on that page looked really good to me, so I didn't feel the need to do too much. And then we have these two pages that are actually very heavily referenced, if not completely 100% referenced, from an artist that I think is named Gabriel Piccolo or Piccolo. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I did put that down because that is the artist that I'm pretty sure that those were referenced from. I think that is all that I've got for you guys today. Here is the real-time speed flip through of my sketchbook after going back and making it prettier and easier to share with people in public. Feel free to take some of these tips and ideas and use them in your own sketchbooks if you're looking to make a sketchbook tour video or just show it to anybody. I know these are pretty basic tips, but I sort of wanted to go through my old sketchbook, and I'm really happy that I did. I feel like I learned a lot about what I used to really like and the things that I sort of have given up on and the new things that I've learned. It's been really good to see how much I personally have grown. So this was super valuable for me. I really appreciate you coming along on this journey with me. Thank you for watching my video and enjoy the rest of my sketchbook tour. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.